if I can, this is one of two containers that Anna's mum sent to me. Anna asked me sometime before she died if I would scatter her ashes in Victoria, and I told her I would, but in the event I didn't want to approach her mother and say, you need to send me the whole shoebox full or whatever. So I did say, you know, if you could send me a portion. So I've got two of these. The first one's hopefully going to wind up somewhere around there, and the second is going to go up to you, but probably Labor Day Monday, just before the start of term, because I think she would have liked to do that. For the moment, if I can get people to just pass this around and just give Anna a little bit of a thought. Thank you all for being here today. I see friends of Anna's from all kinds of communities. Lovers, students, gangsters. We're gathered here today to celebrate and to mourn this unique person who was with us too briefly and who disappeared too soon. All is well. Death is nothing at all. I have only slipped into the next room. I am I, and you are you. Whatever we were to each other, that we are still. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way which you always used. Put no difference in your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed, at the little jokes we enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effect, without the trace of shadow on it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is unbroken continuity. Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am waiting for you, for an interval, somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well. It hasn't been easy to write this. We were lovers for 6 years, and if the truth be told, I don't think we ever really stopped. Even after she moved away and as the madness took her, we were probably about as close by phone as we could possibly be. Anna was brilliant. She had a gift for language. Words were her sword and her shield, and she sometimes deployed them a little too readily or hastily, perhaps. They brought her a living. For years, she made her money blogging a paragraph per day about bathrooms, decor, and fixtures. She wrote constantly. She was published in, more publications than I've been able to list online. She Knows, Kinkley, Very Well Mind, several others. She always kept a journal, and she maintained blogs and other online presences. She had an incisive intellect. She was ferocious and sardonic in argument. Some people have said merciless. For her, the solution was always care for the least among us, and to see dignity and worth in every human being. But she could be utterly scathing about the doctrinaire, the compromised, and about mean, cruel, or unambitious public figures. She was a passionate scholar, dedicated to lifelong learning, holder of multiple degrees in literature, in psych, in public health. She had a wealth of knowledge, some of it esoteric to an absurd degree. Yet she always seemed a bit confused by people and how they worked. I once took her to be assessed for spectrum disorders, and I'm not telling anybody something I hadn't cleared with her when she was still around. All her results came back normal. And I had a number of encounters where I mentioned, yeah, I just brought her back from the hospital. She was just getting assessed for spectrum disorders, and people would look at me expectantly, and I'd say, everything came back normal. And the people would look at me and go, so they're doing more tests, right? Usually, sometimes when she seemed a bit cold or withdrawn, she was processing, because her base statement frequently was, how do I feel about this? We became friends and then lovers during probably the most traumatic period of mine and Lori's shared lives. She helped me to find value in myself when I was at my most compromised, and helped to steer me straight with her rigid honesty, unafraid to tell me when I was fucking it up. Her presence in my life made me a better human being, partner, and man. I have been blessed to be surrounded with admirable, strong, passionate, intelligent women, and she was unique in my pantheon. Her departure has left me bereft of her particular understanding, and leaves a hole in my heart, and perhaps yours, that's going to take some time to scar over. At this moment, I would like to invite anybody who might want to share something with Anna and touching an incident from the life with us. Does anybody care to speak at this time?
I'll say I'm wearing my Jane Eyre shirt in honor of Anna today, because somebody like her, especially in that era, probably would have been considered as barely tolerable. The intelligence, the opinions, all of that about her feistiness. I just really appreciated it, and as you know, we spoke a lot during the pandemic when we were all online together, and we watched the insurrection together, I think, too. And she was always so informative and up for like discussing all the nuance, so I just really appreciated that about her. She was brilliant to discuss things with and feisty, and I love that. So this is to her today. Yeah.
I think she would have absolutely loved that.
I know, and that's why when I saw it in my closet, I'm like, I gotta wear this. Hopefully no one takes offense and understands the meaning, right? But I consider myself one of those women too, so.
So I'm now going to.
Yeah.
We are about to get drowned out. They have no sense of timing.
I know.
No respect for it.
But it's Victoria, so it's okay. Let's just take a moment.
us from the block line.
Well, it gives me an opportunity to show our Montreal audience. Just really, yeah. This is why this was one of Annabelle's favorite spots. She lived like you may. I've been keeping quiet because I'll sound really big, like on the video. But she lived like what 2 blocks away from here. So.
So I'm going to scatter a small quantity of Anna's physicality and a good deal more of her essence. I chose this spot because of its significance for herself and for me. We walked here often, pretty much every time we got together. And she came down here often by herself. This particular spot, this particular area, I went over to her place when she was still very much delusional, and she was incredibly excited and really happy because an otter had brought her breakfast. That was how she put it. She was, I guess, sitting somewhere along the shoreline, and an otter apparently approached her carrying, I think it was a starfish in its mouth. And she apparently told it, "Thank you very much, but I've already had breakfast when I came." And the otter kind of nodded and went away. So, especially toward the end, she was not happy often. Spent a lot of time confused. But I remember her smiling. I mean, even before, it was not easy. So, it's a memory of her happy, whatever the situation may have been. And I want to remember her with all her struggles and her peculiarities. But it's nice to have a memory of her smile. Anna was a Buddhist when I first met her. She stopped kind of officially practicing, attending Sangha a couple of years into the relationship. But she always maintained her own practice of meditation and spirituality, and she always maintained a belief that there was something beyond the grave, an afterlife or maybe reincarnation. So maybe I'm going to scatter this out there. And well, I've looked, but I haven't seen an otter yet. You're welcome at this time, particularly if you have a spiritual practice of your own, to offer thoughts, prayers, whatever you feel is appropriate for Anna and for her mother Aline, her brother Guillaume, her friends Nat and Gabby and all the rest of us, and of course me. I've seen this done half a dozen times and it never goes well. Pretty good. I'm not sure I call it an urn. I'm not sure it's big enough to be an urn, but I think Eileen chose very well. I think Anna would have liked it. Thank you all so much for being here. On a practical note, I have a table booked over at Spinnaker's for anybody who cares to come to breakfast, lunch. I originally booked the table for 8, and then it looked like we were going to get about 14 people. And fortunately, we're back down to somewhere around 8 or 9, and I'm sure they can find an extra pair or two. I have no idea what time it is. Good God. We're almost an hour early, but I'm fairly sure they probably won't mind. So, once again, thank you all for coming. I know